will do. Yeah.
Because you get like the fighters like.
Only my dad really calls me that. You know what I mean? I think that's because
Goldsmith.
no, Bradley. Yeah.
Oh,
See,
right
Bradley.
So can I pretend to be like
Judge.
Can I pretend to be like a parent?
Yeah.
Because I am probably old enough to be your mum.
I don't know about that.
How old are you?
I'm 26. My dad's 50.
I'm definitely old enough to be your mother.
You don't look it, so that's
which colour do you like? Bradley.
I'm gonna go black. I'm gonna go black today. Match my attire.
Match your mood.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a fair point.
But you know what? Fair play to you, Bradley Goldsmith. Thank you very much for coming back. People sometimes say they're going to come back and they never do, but you did.
I just said to my, because I come back in through the front way, and I said, let me go back around and change rooms, because I said I'd come back.
You smell nice.
Thank you very much.
What aftershave's that?
Listen, no.
It's not savage, is it?
Nah, savage as well.
Whatever. That demon aftershave.
Nah.
I just got a waft of it then.
If you get complimented, then it's good. So you kind of got to gatekeep it. You know what I mean?
It's very reminiscent because, like I said, I am old to Izzy Miyake.
Oh, okay.
So it's old school, not as old school as Duke because that stinks.
Nah, it's too overpowering.
But yeah. Anyway, let's talk about your fight.
Yeah.
And before we go on, yes, I am sad you lost. I'm happy Troy won, but I'm sad you lost.
Yes.
But we were entertained, and thank you for entertaining us.
I mean, look, every boxer, wants to be in entertaining fights, and obviously for me, unfortunately, I'm on the other end of it this time round. You know what I mean? I'd love nothing more to have a bat over my shoulder. I've visualised probably me doing this with that over my shoulder, but tonight wasn't my night. Through no one's fault other than my own. Bit of a lack of experience probably let me down. Massive learning curve, and for me, it's a lesson that I lost.
Okay. Well, talk us through that fight. You mentioned like lack of experience. The one thing that I noticed, and I did call it, I said he's going to punch himself out.
That's what I did.
Talk to me.
Yeah, that's what I did. I mean, look, I've said in the build-up, like I know I'm strong. I've got people out there who don't really get took out, in terms of certain journeymans, that kind of stuff. And I know I'm hitting hard in the gym, hitting hard on the pads, and hitting hard in sparring. So I know I'm strong. Did I let that get to my head a little bit? Maybe not. I knew I'd hurt him, and I knew I could hurt him. I think that was clear to see as well. But maybe, the occasion or just getting carried away with him myself, as I said, like a lack of experience he was hurt, but was he hurt that bad? And that's the bit that you probably have to register and pay attention to for next time.
When you do, like you said, you think, okay, I'm going to get him out here. The punches are coming in. He's stopped punching back, or he's not throwing as many back. It's all right, us as fans saying, oh yeah, you punch yourself out. Yeah. Or are you going to punch yourself out? But when you're in that moment and you're seeing potentially a stoppage, you said it's a learning curve. So how do you then say, okay, I've given him a few punches, he's still here. Now I've got to reset. We've got to reset and go again. I need to have a breather.
Like you say, maybe it's just, I'll punch myself for it because, Don was giving me the right instructions in the corner of what to do, because he could see that he knew what was happening as it's happening. He knew what was going to be the aftermath of obviously me trying to punch him, punching myself out. So, like you say, it's just a learning curve. I'm gutted. Don't get me wrong, but if I let this beat me, then what kind of man am I? So I've got no doubt I'll be back.
And I guess you are gutted. Of course you're gutted. You've lost a fight, and it's your first loss as well as a professional. And it doesn't matter what I say. That's never going to give you the W, is it? But you are an entertaining fighter. And the thing is, with boxing these days, it's not necessarily about losing. It's about how you lose.
Yeah.
And then all right. Then say if you got sparked out, or it was boring and you lost on points or whatever. Then you shelved a little bit, and it's like, oh, should we call him in? But with that, it was toe-to-toe action. You could hear the crowd going. There's a potential now that you get called back, and that's when you get back to your winning ways.
Yeah.
Or am I just living in a fairyland? I'm quite positive.
Yeah, look, I'd say I was winning quite clear on the cards. I don't know what the cards were. It's obviously irrelevant now, but I was winning.
You were comfortable.
I was entertaining. I felt comfortable in there as well, which for me was most important in the sense of showing really what I said I would do, showing what I'm about, what I can do, and that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I'm just gutted. I feel like I let myself down, obviously, as well as others. I know people will say shut up, don't say stuff like that, but
they will, Bradley.
Yeah, of course they will. Of course
they will.
But I mean, listen, that's my initial reaction, you know.
All right then. So fair enough. Like you said, it's a learning curve. There's always room for improvement. You know that you're going to be back. This is not the end of your career.
No, definitely not.
I mentioned a potential rematch because it's a fight that I'd like to see again.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that to Troy. I know that he's said different things to different people, but I said I've said the same thing.
Yeah,
and he's like, you know what?
Yeah.
With the right amount of obviously money, because everyone does it to get paid.
Of course.
Because I'd really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, like we've had a little bit of a back and forth. Only.
Did you?
Only like childish games, like at the face-off at the weigh-in. But
okay.
I mean, look, I've known him for years. I know his team; they're great guys. I know a lot of boys down the gym. I was just speaking to one of them then, and it's a bit weird, especially on fight week when you're bumping shoulders with everyone. I've seen him all week.
Yeah.
He was having breakfast behind me today.
Okay.
So it's never like no bad blood or nothing like that. It's just a case of, like you say. It obviously was an entertaining fight.
Yeah,
I'd be more than happy to avenge my first loss, as you said, and like you say, the ball would be in his court really, because obviously he's just got the victory by stoppage as well. So a lot of things to weigh up, but we'll see what happens.
What I did like as well is he was just about to do 5,000 interviews, and quite rightly he said, look, people don't even usually speak to me, and now everyone's on me, and that's the thing with the sport.
Very, very fickle.
And what I said to him, I said it'd be good to obviously speak to you two together, but you went up to him, and there's that comradeship there, that true sportsmanship there, and I like that, and that's why I wanted to get the two of you together. Like you said,
it would have been nice. Yeah,
you know each other.
Yeah.
You could have had that. Years ago, they used to sit the fighters down on the ring of the apron and speak to both of them after the fights, and they stopped doing that, and it loses that sportsmanship because you kind of you drift off, go back into your changing rooms.
You never see each other again.
See each other.
Yeah, I mean, I made sure. He was doing an interview, and I made sure I pulled him aside, said thanks. He was the champion, obviously going into it. He still is now. He essentially gave me the opportunity, although I asked for the fight. It was him who obviously accepted the fight. So. Without obviously him, essentially the fight wouldn't have happened. Friends before, friends after. I'll shake his hand. I'd like to think I'm a gentleman. I've come across as a nice person, I hope. But that's just me. I'm not fake. What you see is what you get, and just keep it real, man.
I have a feeling that you two will be giving each other dirty looks in the hotel again very soon, because none of you are signed. And I've got to give a shout out to Georgia Cook from Boxing Now. She made a very, very good point. The both of you are not signed, and she said it. So shout out to her. Eddie Hearn's got a show in Birmingham. If you have an eye on there,
yeah,
might be an idea.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, look. I'd take that with both hands. Like you say, obviously things are still a bit raw now, so of course you're like, get it back.
You got to sleep on it.
Listen, I'm a fighter at the end of the day. As I said, I was the one who asked for this fight, so I'm now not suddenly going to ask for it again. As I said, it wasn't like I went in there and I got, put on my back or with one shot, or I was losing every round.
No.
In my head, I was winning.
And obviously there's that bit off the bell down, and
listen, it's.
I don't know. It was weird.
Again, I could stand there and blame him.
Because you don't recover from that.
No, you don't.
And you didn't.
But essentially, is it my sloppiness that got me in that position for him to land that shot? So
I like that accountability. Because you could point fingers.
Man. Yeah. I'm not. I would never be one of these fighters, especially like after a loss like that. They turn around and rather than actually accepting where they went wrong, it's like the coach or the this or the that. Like tonight was on me, and that's something I've got to deal with, accept, and move forward from.
And that's what makes champions.
100%.
Bradley.
Thank you for your time. Yeah.
Goldsmith.
Telling me off now.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming back out, because I know it's a busy night.
Yeah,
and
it's all good.
like you said, you got like 500 odd people to speak to, so I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming back.
Thank
and
you so
you've
much.
definitely gained a fan in me. I will be watching your fights. I hope you get a rematch, but whatever happens, I'll definitely be watching your career going
It
forward.
means a lot, honestly.
Tell me what the aftershave is.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.